This conference will now be recorded.
The Cottage Grove Town Board will hold a public meeting beginning at 7 p.m. on Monday, December 18th, 2023 at Town Hall at 4058 Common Road End. You can also join the meeting by GoToMeeting. The meeting was posted at the Town Hall and on the website. We have a quorum present. I'll call the meeting to order. We'll stand for the flag pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have the minutes of our last couple meetings on December 4th.
I would move approval of the public hearing for 2024 Town of Cottage Grove budget, the special meeting of the electors approved as is, and change of all is one or separate motion. Okay,
If you
and-
want, change that.
Yeah. Yes. With, and the board meeting minutes itself for with two changes. One under item 2, business item D, for the transfer to 2 lots. One is RR1 and the other is
Should be RR1, should be RR2.
RR2.
It's 2 acres.
2 acres, yes.
Today that they applied for RR1, but they were confused about how the county ordinance reads, and it's up to 2 acres they thought it was up to 2 acres was RR1, but it's 2 acres and above is RR2, and it's exactly 2 acres. So we just need to straighten our minutes out here and at the planning
To show
commission,
that it's going to RR2.
so that we don't have
Okay.
to have a whole other meeting about it.
Oh, yes, with that change. And then on the back, page 2, item 7, 3/4 of the way down. Motion to go into closed session by Williams, seconded by Duplay.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Duplay to approve the minutes on December 4th for the public hearing for the Cottage Grove Town budget for 2024 and the special town meeting of the electors and the regular town board meeting on December 4th with changes to 2D1 from RR1 to RR2 and 7 should be Williams followed by Duplay. Correct?
Correct.
Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And you have closed session.
I'll move approval of the closed session meeting minutes. and that they remain closed.
And with the change in
Oh.
item 1. Motion by Williams to play.
Oh, okay, oops. Sorry.
I'll second that with the change in item 1.
Motion by Duplace, second by Williams to approve the closed session minutes for December 4th with the change in 1 to be Williams then Duplace
Correct.
in the motion. And are they open or closed?
Closed.
Closed.
They could be open, couldn't they?
I was just kind of wondering. I don't know.
Just information, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Okay, then leave them open, I guess.
Okay.
It's all right with, oh,
Okay with me too. Yes.
all right. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Finance report and approval of bills.
Do you want these listed as a separate motion, that last check?
No, you can include it all in.
Okay. I move
For the
approve.
rest of the board, though, do you want?
Oh, yeah. This was, we just got this for gas. And
Due to the end of the month.
due right away.
Ooh,
A
So
few minutes.
it was for $93.12. But they wanted it right away.
good thing we had a meeting tonight.
Well, it would've
So
been a
we'll
good
make
thing if
that
they
check
gotten it out
36,769.
Yes,
Statements should come out.
yes.
So I'll move approval of checks number 36, 738 through 37, 716,
36.
36, 769.
Including
Paid, and that includes the $93.12 for check 36, 769.
for Consumers Cooperative.
Correct.
Yep.
And EFT payments of $16,453.26 be made.
Motion by Duplace, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Anders to approve checks 36,738 through 36,769, with 36,769 being Consumers Co-op for $93.12 that was received today. And the EFT payment of $16,453.26. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Then you have your unaudited cash investment balance of $2,888,593.65 in the November building permits.
I'll approve that boatload of permits as presented.
Second.
Motion by Anders, second by Duplace to approve the November building permits as presented. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And then you also have your November financial statement. Anything else?
Lots of building permits.
Tax collection has begun, and then
You want our next meeting is January 2nd, so you need per diems by end of December.
End of next week, yeah.
The end of next week.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Losing track of time, yeah.
Okay. Next item is public concerns. Public's opportunity to speak to the town board about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. No one here? Anyone online? No?
Not speaking up anyway.
Okay, then we have the review of the November police activities. And Eric is here. Nice to see you.
Pleasure to be here. For those who have not met me, my name is Eric Miller. I'm honored to be put in this position, so thank you. A little bit about me, I come back with 8 years of law enforcement experience from a different agency, a year here at the sheriff's office, and I'm also a first sergeant at the fighter wing here in Madison, Wisconsin for 12 years. So it's an honor. Let's do a quick overview. Hopefully that's good enough. So as far as update on policing, we moved the speed board from Ballast Hope Road to, oh my gosh, what is the road? Baxter. Baxter, thank you, sir. I had a brain fart there. Baxter Road. Other than that, we've been increasing up our traffic enforcement numbers as well, with just 2 of us, obviously. So our third is coming in, I believe, February.
Right.
It's still the time frame that we're looking at for him to get into his position.
Any questions? Can you replace the batteries?
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Hey, Warren.
Discuss and consider approval of Advanced Life Support Program Intergovernmental Agreement on behalf of Deer Grove EMS. Hello, Eric.
Howdy, howdy. Feel like I live here on Mondays. So the ALS program began in Dane County in 2004. My apologies for not researching the history of our organization, but I don't think we were paramedics in 2004 when the program began. And we've progressed from intermediate, 1 paramedic now to 2 paramedic. And are finally, because of some changes in the state of Wisconsin, allowed to be a participating member and voting member of the ALS program. What changed was it used to be that you had to, and per this agreement, had to declare that you were 2 paramedic by operational plan. Right now at the state of Wisconsin, there's no ability to declare 2 paramedic because all there is paramedics, and paramedics can be 1 or 2 depending upon your departmental need. So we always have 2 paramedics on our ambulance, especially here in Cottage Grove. Sometimes we have some flexibility to have a single paramedic in Deerfield. It all depends upon our staffing, but for the most part, we're staffed at the 2 paramedic level. The intergovernmental agreement doesn't ask anything more of us, just to be 2 paramedics in Cottage Grove. It doesn't cost anything. We don't have to change any part of our operation. Why this is important for us to be members is it helps us to direct the system, if you will. We don't get to tell people what to do, but we get to participate in the building of the system process. Whereas before we were a participant within this ALS agreement, so if changes were made by the group that you see on your listing there, that if you took our name away in One Keyway, that was the primary group prior to us hoping to join. So the goal would be that we'll participate fully in the system and be able to help direct its future.
Questions?
No, it's a great, I
That's
think it's
good.
a great program.
Congratulations on moving up.
Yeah, good luck.
Is there a motion yet?
So move. Approval.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Anders to approve the intergovernmental agreement for Advanced Life Support Program. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Thank you very much. I have a signature page for you, and I'll bring it by tomorrow.
Next item, discuss and consider vote to replace Cottage Grove Fire Department Ladder 1 in 2028. Is there a second? Taking it at face value.
What's that?
Taking it at face
I
value.
know. It's just a
You have the floor.
hell of a lot of money.
So I don't know if you all got a chance to read through this. Just got it over you earlier today, but it's kind of to fill in the backstory for those that aren't on the DSC. The ladder is scheduled to be replaced in 2028. The lead times on some of the manufacturers, the one that we've kind of been going with, which is Pierce, has now hit a 4-year lead time to get a truck. So to us, after putting everything together and putting the prices together, the fact that Pierce lets you order the truck and lock in your price for 4 years out, we recommend, our suggestion would be that if we're going to stay on time with a 2028 delivery, that we were asking the municipalities to sign an agreement to purchase the new truck. So some background on the truck, which is, I guess, the old truck is what's called a rear mount, where the aerial device is mounted to the back end of the truck. And the new truck would be a mid mount where the aerial device mounts actually right behind the cab. Some of that was done for turning radius, to help improve turning radius. Takes about 2.5 feet off the turning radius by changing the orientation. That's why that was done that way. We did price out several other manufacturers. That'd be the last page of this handout. These 3 other manufacturers are all repped by Fire Service Inc. E1, Ferrera, and KME are the ones repped by Fire Service. We currently have an E1, so we know what that truck would be about. Ferrera, nobody in the state has one. And talking to people that do have them, it would not be advisable to go with one. It sounds like they have a lot of problems on mechanically, quality. And then KME, again, nobody in the state has one. I think their quality is a little bit better, but so for the lead times on them, the 3 trucks, E1 for KME, those are a little bit less. They're looking about 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years on those ones. So those trucks, you'd have to almost get the truck early if you were going to go with that. Where the Pierce, like I said, has got a 4-year lead time. We can lock in the price now and keep the truck on schedule and save the increases. The reason we're talking about doing this now, historically, fire truck, you could count on averaging 1 to 3% price increase yearly. Once a year, 1 to 3%. What they're doing now, all the manufacturers are more like 5 to 7%, multiple times a year. So this price from Pierce, I presented it to the GFC last year. It was 1.7 million for this exact same truck. It's currently 2.1 in a 1-year span. So we figure it's going to continue to go up. They're not talking with the manufacturers, multiple manufacturers. I asked if there's any chance that some of this is inflation related and that prices will go back down if the market recovers. And it doesn't sound like there could be some reduction, but they're not going to drastically go down in price. Now that they've been charging this, they're going to continue to charge this. So this is probably the best price we're going to get on the truck going forward. It's going to continue to go up the more it's delayed, I guess.
Thank you for getting all this information.
And then to elaborate to Pierce price, that is one that we built, we spec'd it, we've worked with them, that's fully built to what we're looking for. It's got the because it's gonna be after 2027, the emission standards on diesel engines are changing in 2027. So that price is figured with the new emissions engine in it, which adds significant cost. The three other ones, they haven't put that price in there yet. So those are gonna go up significantly. And the spec that they gave us, they're not built to our spec. They're like, this is what we think you'll end up with. So here's an estimate of what it is. So they haven't actually put what we're looking for onto it yet. So these prices aren't even accurate basically yet. So that's why we're recommending the Pierce build.
What's the estimated 2028 price? What is that?
That would be what you see here, this 2.1. You'd lock it in at that price. That's what it would be in 2028.
It'd be, what would be?
Down to 2.152609.
Yeah, not the 3340.
No, that would be if you waited, if you decided to wait and purchase the truck actually in 2028. That's what we're guessing the real price will be by the time you go through all of that.
So do we have to pay this now then to get this price?
No,
No.
you're allowed to do cash on delivery with these trucks.
Okay.
So you can lock in your price and you wouldn't pay for it till the truck came in 2028,
Unless you choose the 100% prepayment option.
which if you're borrowing, it doesn't really make sense to do the savings you're gonna get isn't gonna offset the interest that you're paying for borrowing for the
For 4 years.
so.
Kim, would that suffice for bidding?
Well, no, because you're technically supposed to go out advertise.
Well,
It's
gonna be Class B notice then?
From that though?
I don't know. Yeah,
For
those
vehicles?
vehicles, I don't know that you technically have
We've
to
never done it
because
before.
it's mainly like building improvements and stuff like that. So,
I'd say for ambulances and spec purposes, emergency vehicles are exempt because they have a specific spec that they look to meet, and none of those manufacturers can meet that spec. So therefore, you can't get an accurate quote to this particular spec.
yeah, I think you're right.
It's kind of what the village had said, because of the cap. Well, one was part of the capital, that was part of their discussion too. Is how they were purchasing it and what was being purchased.
Yes, because you can't really get an apples to apples somewhat. Well, I mean, you'd have to have a very specific RFP and
And what did the village do?
The village voted tonight to approve it conditionally to you guys. If you guys approved it, then it would be, they've already approved it.
I think we have to do it.
did they say what equalized value they want to pay for? based on?
They did not, and I was not gonna get into it.
Only
You didn't wanna go
stipulation,
down that road?
I did not know.
only stipulation they put on it was conditional to the town of Cottage Grove, but their only condition they put on it was they did not want to do a prepayment. Their motion was to purchase it with no prepayment,
So just pay
I
for
could
it.
reasonably see
28.
that.
which is what we were talking about. I don't know, I can't remember a vehicle that we've ever purchased that was not done that way. So I spend, get a price and cash on delivery.
And would we be interested in a performance bond at all?
I don't know what that does. Does a performance bond do for that?
I don't know, but it was,
So the charge is $6,600 or something like that in the spec if you wanted to do that.
yeah, there was a charge for it, $6,273.
And what does that do?
It adds 62.
I'm
Yeah,
not
but-
sure. I would assume if they didn't deliver it on the date that we're told, there'd be some,
Financial penalty.
yeah, or condition to us. You know, they talk about it there, but I don't think we've ever had one before.
No.
Have we ever considered the progress payment option? By doing that, you get a discount, but do we end up paying more than that in interest? Probably.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cancel that.
Taking it after March 15th of 2028, you're looking for a perform, to spend 6,200 or whatever it is. If anything, you wanted it later than March 15th. You didn't necessarily want it on time. It didn't have to get there at that time because then you're not depreciating it. If they come later. We just didn't want it. You've always not wanted it before March 15th because of making sure the tax dollars were in and some of those other things were done.
Any idea if we were to keep it 5 years past 28, what it would cost us in repairs? Just a guess.
To keep the existing truck, you mean?
Yeah,
It's hard to say. If nothing major went wrong on it, then what you'd be paying right now, $2,000 a year in maintenances and, but if something bad happened, like Stoughton had some hydraulic problems with theirs, they spent, I think, over $150,000 doing like the hydraulics. They redid all the hydraulics on it. And that was to extend the life of it another few years to kick it out. But it kind of depends what happens. The engine went bad on it, which we've never had an engine go bad, but
yeah, you only got 19,000 miles on it.
right.
So
So
I'm not concerned necessarily about the drivetrain for the vehicle itself. It's all the
The
extraneous.
fire apparatus.
Exactly.
the
Pumps
pump,
and.
but, if a pump went bad, we've had pumps rebuilt. A simple pump job is usually about 10 to 15 grand. A more involved one, if you have a damaged impeller or something like that, you could figure it'd be up to 50 grand to do a pump job. It kind of depends on what happens.
But then the other thing too is the fact based upon, in the quote, the estimated value of that truck in 2028 is $1 million more almost, isn't it? Pretty close
Yeah,
to it.
300.
Yeah, $1.3 million. So
And that 2028 value is a rough estimate by us based on what they've been doing for price increases the last few years. That's not guaranteed.
no, I understand that, but I'm just saying.
Just based on what the market's been doing the last few years, if it were to continue, that's what we think it would be at for the same truck. Just put clarification on that.
It factors that the 2008 price or 2028 price factors a February and a November increase each year at 5%. In some cases it was more, but we kept it at the 5% just because we didn't want to get too carried away with the numbers. But I know the engine 3 is another municipality, which we put in here, that bought an engine very similar to engine 3, and the price difference within a year and a half was 24% difference. So it was I forgot what it was like 200 and some $1,000. I think it was almost $240,000 difference. I think we're a bit conservative, but it could go back to 3% versus 5%. But we're at this point we're predicting.
Any idea how many ladders Pierce builds in a year? What's their average?
Did he tell us that? I don't remember.
46 to 49. It was like one.
Quite a few. They just actually built a new plant in Appleton specifically for ladder
For
trucks.
ladder
To
production.
increase their ladder production because they're getting a lot of orders for them. Which is why they're 4 years out. Because a lot of people have been ordering ladders from them. So their other trucks are 2.5 to 3 years right now. So.
Do you want a motion?
If you have a decision,
I think we have to go forward with it. The village is willing to.
Yeah, I don't see it getting any better in the future. I'll move approval of the quote from Pierce Manufacturing for $2,152,609, not to be paid until 2028
And on delivery,
on delivery.
on delivery based on the 2027,
Equalized value.
yeah,
Formula, whatever. I don't know if that's gonna,
well, or based on the 2028 split that's
Formula.
in place.
Yeah.
yeah.
God only knows. Motion by Duplace, second by Williams to approve the 2.152609 for Pierce
Correct.
for payment to be made in 2028 upon delivery. Any other discussion on the motion?
Question.
Yes.
I'm saying that collectively, are sure that even though we're theoretically, not theoretically, but committing to the purchase now, the actual assessed percentages for the actual outlay of cash will occur on the 2028 budget. Whatever the formula
Yeah.
is, whatever that's according to the new agreement, correct?
That's how we read it.
New agreement says on
Well-
delivery. But
So it's acquisition, not ordering?
Right. It's on delivery.
Just checking,
Can that be included in the motion?
just checking.
Yeah, no.
Well, so you want to pay it on delivery based on the 2028 budget split between the town and the village for the fire department.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Well, what are the two discounts there? Is that just after the fact or something, or?
The 100% prepayment option
And the
or the
progress
progress
payment,
pay
17,709 and 10,593, what are those?
as they go.
That's if you wanted to pay some ahead.
No,
But at least part of the truck is completed, if you pay for that, you get a discount. So like, as they finish the chassis, which will probably be, it could be up to 8 or 9 months before the rest of the truck is done.
Okay.
You would pay some of it, you get a discount, but if you're borrowing, does the discount offset the interest for borrowing early? It's where you'd have to weigh that out.
okay.
And it's gonna have all the stuff that it's gonna need in 2028, correct?
Correct. So we didn't really get into that, but that is in here. So the way that our committee does it, we've got 6 members that sit down and go through, this is what we currently have that works. This is what we think we're gonna need 25, this is a 25-year investment. So where do we see the department going? Where do we see the municipalities going? So we build it, we put what we have, what we need, think, kind of plan out for everything we think we're gonna need, and then kind of weigh out some of those values as the price comes in and goes, well, is that option really worth that cost? Are we really realistically gonna do that? And then we trim it to make it truck that makes sense for everybody involved, I guess. So,
And what we're saying is you can't go over the 2,152,609.
Right.
Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Merry Christmas.
Christmas and Christmas and Christmas and Christmas.
Next item is discuss and consider revising Town of Cottage Grove ordinance 4.07 fire protection within building Knox box.
I'd move approval.
Second.
Of what?
What do you want to change?
Oh, I thought you, I want the Knox box. I've been pushing for the Knox box for months.
No, you wanted to change something in the ordinance to make it for all commercial properties or something. I don't know exactly what you were thinking, but.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
So, what exact language do you want where, I guess?
This is what we were supposed to bring and I forgot.
I figured that. I didn't bring extra copies either.
Sorry, I read it.
So I'll put it up on the screen here.
It'd be very big to see.
But,
Thank you, Mike.
It says the owner or person in control of the following types of buildings shall install and maintain an approved emergency services repository unit. Any apartment building or other rental building containing 4 or more residential units in which access to a building or common area or mechanical or electrical rooms within the building is denied through locked doors. Any non-residential building where a fire detection or suppression system is monitored by an alarm company or has an external audible alarm. Any facility that is required to prepare and have material safety data sheets and/or hazardous chemical inventory forms under the Superfund Amendments and Reauthorization Act, Sarah Title III. So I don't know if you were thinking that any non-residential building fire suppression or not, or if that was the difference or what it was that you were wanting to change.
When we met in the joint fire committee meeting, I think he recommended that all commercial buildings have a Knox box because there's some commercial buildings that could fall outside of the scope of all that and not have a box. So
Any non-residential building, period.
Yeah. And then those
Well-
barns,
Yeah, I guess no, yeah, that doesn't work, does it?
you gotta put one on a barn?
It's not residential, yeah. No, I wouldn't think so. So do you want to define it by zoning or how do you want to define commercial?
I guess, Chris, if a farmer locked their barn and it had valuables in it, wouldn't they want a Knox box in it so we wouldn't have to cut a big old hole in their door to get in to rescue or put something out?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't see anybody putting out money to lock a barn up.
So I think there's 4 really big reasons why you would want a Knox box. And that's because of hazardous materials inside a building, fire protection systems and alarm systems that we would need to get in there to disarm, multiple occupancies inside of a building. So like you've got multiple apartments, multiple occupancies inside, multiple tenants inside of a building. So typically you're looking at a certain number. And I think in a lot of cases, in a lot of municipalities, that is 4 or more.
You
So-
just read it off. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and I think pretty much your ordinance is already laying out all of the reasons why. And there's a 4th one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you said 4.
Yeah, I gotta look up what the 4th one is. So you've got 3.
Well, I'm looking at it from a perspective also. This is coming from one of the properties I take care of up in Baraboo. It's an office building, all right? Single point entrance, but it has suites, for lack of a better word, in there. And none of those suites have MSDS's or there's no commercial fire system, there's no alarmed. Matter of fact, the building isn't even large enough to be sprinkled. However, if somebody has a trash can fire back in the back after hours, you know, it'd be nice to be able to get in. Or there was an instance where a person fell in one of the back offices. The front door was locked, and you know, they were able to call for help. And thankfully, Baraboo's got an ordinance. I think that pretty much any office building, you know, it's got to have a Knox box on it. The
Wouldn't one cover that? That example?
don't know. I'm
Because it's
saying, yeah.
locked.
Anyway, you know, the emergency services is able to access the inside of the building, and, you know, all is well. But none of the stuff, strike that. Even a large single office building, let me say, if we had a single tenant office building, that wouldn't necessarily fall under our existing ordinance.
I think one only applies to residential.
What's that?
I think one only applies for residential units. Apartment building or rental building with 4 or more residential units.
If you're running it for commercial purposes.
It's
So-
residential.
I can tell you what most municipalities do, even your neighboring one. And
It's
then
apartment or a
a
rental.
lot of other
building.
ones in the area. It's, the way they word it is commercial structures with an automatic alarm system or suppression system. And then they have a separate line that talks about daycare facilities, nursing home facilities, and government facilities. So that's one separate line. That's the fourth one that I couldn't think of. So that's where they're actually calling out particular commercial entities. They don't just say commercial entities. They're actually calling out what type of commercial entities they would have Knox boxes at. And then the other one was the hazmat. So the number 4 that I couldn't think of that you guys don't have is the commercial structures that they're specifically calling out where they want to see them, so that you're not saying that you would want them to on someone's barn, you know. But that's up to you guys to say what you would want to call out, what particular commercial occupancies, like the government buildings, the nursing home facilities. Actually defining.
So to the fire department, based on our ordinance, are there any changes that you would recommend we make?
Probably that 4th one where we're talking about adding the particular facilities where you would want to see them that don't, but you're not identifying them where you want them at. So the government facilities, you guys don't have nursing home or daycare facilities in the township, but what if somebody decides they want to build one or put one in somewhere?
Then we change the regulation.
Or a daycare facility somewhere in the township.
You don't want to put something in that we don't even have.
Well, no, it's actually, normally I agree, Mike, but as long as we're talking about it,
Well, I don't.
You're not likely to have that just because of sewer and water. But what kind of things might you be likely to have out on North Star? Because that's where all your commercial development is coming that you might want to see it in. I guess that would be the one to get ahead of.
you know, it's like, does the boat place out there have Knox boxes at all, chief?
I don't know if they do or not, because they don't have a sprinkler, they don't have an alarm system. I don't think that they
No,
actually
they
do.
store any hazardous.
How many boats with gasoline in them are out there? I mean, there's a lot of flammable liquid storage, not necessarily under MSDS, but
Every building has accelerant in it.
What's that?
So every building has accelerant in it though?
Agreed, that's,
But not dozens and dozens, and
One thing that your neighboring entity does is they add in a building with a footprint over 25,000 square feet.
That was not sprinkled anyways, wasn't it? That size would probably have a sprinkler system. At least if it's a general
some
assembly.
of those.
Just saying, I'm just telling you,
Yeah, yeah.
they're define it.
Keys, aren't they?
Just under what what would have to be sprinkled.
Boat storage?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like 11,990 something in their
Okay.
requirements, like 12,000. So they're like
Yeah.
just under it.
What's the cost for a box? Just
$500.
Huh?
$500.
No.
not
Yeah, I
even
think
that.
it was.
Yeah, well,
5 or
I just ordered
550.
one for the garage. It was
I didn't think I paid that much for
$497
mine.
plus shipping or whatever. it came to about
487.
5.
480.
487.
Okay. I stand corrected.
And the box is what, combination on it or something? or
No,
what?
it's got a,
key.
A key
So the
that,
fire department would have keys to
yes,
all these things.
One key,
One key fits them all.
yeah.
and
Boy, I would-
it's by location, by
Yeah.
municipality, I should say, or fire district.
Yeah, so we have one key that does all the boxes in the town of Cottage Grove and the village. It's our fire district. It's not like the town has its own key and the village has its own key, but the district has a key.
Yeah, you don't want to be digging through keys.
Yeah.
I think it's this one.
I mean, the reason they preach it, so obviously the quickness of gaining entry, but if you don't have it, in some of these commercial doors, a $500 box is gonna be nothing compared to some of these commercial doors. If we have to cut a glass door, a tempered glass door or whatever, and
Yeah.
sort of frame, you're talking 10 to 15,000 to replace the door.
is there any reason why somebody couldn't decide to have one even if the ordinance didn't mean that they need
No,
one?
they could
No,
put
they could
it
have
on
one.
at any
So-
time if they
so
want.
Does the town board need to look at it from their usual health and human safety or whatever that, what do you really need to protect with your ordinance?
One thing that the village is actually doing right now is as they go through their plan commission, even if it's not required, they are strongly recommending during plan commission, like you should consider putting a Knox box on when you build this building.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just following through with it by saying that. So it has.
That's a good idea.
But it's only $490 on a price of, how much for a building?
A door
But a door is, like he said, a door is,
can be very expensive.
yeah, it can be very expensive.
Do we add a general statement on the bottom? Something to the effect that the town board reserves its right to recommend or require a Knox box on an individual. I mean, there's some player, if we feel this particular land use or this particular building, I mean,
Do we want to table this temporarily and
Chris suggested
come
that.
back and look at it again in 2 or 2
After you
weeks?
have some language worked out.
Yeah.
You want me to see if the Towns Association has any model
Yes.
language?
I'll
Yes.
get a Dane County Towns exec meeting Wednesday night. I'll ask.
Oh,
Table
good.
this
Second.
for now.
Motion by Duplay, second by Williams, to table to January 2.
January. Yes.
Correct. Any discussion on the motion to table? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We'll be back on 1-2. Next item, discuss and consider recommendation from General Engineering Company regarding delegated municipal authority and revision to Town of Cottage Grove Chapter 12 building codes.
So we have to have state approval to do inspections? Is that basically what we're talking about? State authority? That's why I sort of read the thing. And she's gonna do the paperwork.
Some things we can do the inspection if we choose to.
Well, is she,
Otherwise-
are they trying to say we don't have that right now? For what we're having them inspect?
No, that's not what they're saying, no.
Well, what are they saying?
Eric, if you want, you can leave.
Sounds good.
We're pretty boring.
I wasn't sure how long you guys want me to stick around or not, so. Perfect.
Nobody's fighting yet.
Take care, y'all. Pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you.
A municipality may request to be delegated certain permitting, plan review, and inspection authority from the state. So Cottage Grove has already been delegated municipal authority to perform commercial electrical permitting and inspecting. And so she's saying we should review it basically and see if there's other things that we want to do here, as opposed to what the state is inspecting.
I don't think we need to do a manufactured home facility.
He's asking, do the commercial building structural and HVAC plan review, the fire suppression and fire alarm plan review.
Seems like it's
Commercial electric.
sort of a cover your butt thing, period. For them.
So what they're saying is that request, that third page, the things that aren't crossed out are what they're suggesting that the town should request delegation of.
You crossed out something?
No.
No,
what
they did.
On this page 2.
The first 6 things that aren't stricken out are the ones that general engineering is suggesting that we request delegated authority for. And then they're suggesting some changes
Bottom
to it.
3 are crossed off. We shouldn't do.
What are they looking for? Just that we say these are good? Or what?
Right, she filled out
Right.
the application for all those. If that's the way that you want to go through, it's ready to go. We just have to sign it. And then
And
there's
then
some,
we have to change our ordinance.
and then there's some recommended changes to our ordinance.
What do we need a motion on here?
If we want to adopt them.
Adopt?
Well, if you want to go ahead and apply for or request those delegated municipal authority items. And then we'll have to come back with a ordinance amendment later.
Yeah. We'll have to update the ordinance, public hearing.
Right.
all we want to do right now is just approve this.
If approve the commercial building structure and HVAC plan review, fire suppression and fire alarm plan review, commercial building structural HVAC, fire suppression and fire alarm inspection, commercial electrical permitting and inspection, commercial plumbing plan review, 1 and 2 family dwelling, UDC permitting and inspection. UDC is,
I would make that motion with the, and it be sent by our company to the state of Wisconsin Safety and Professional Service Department for approval.
motion by Fonger. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Williams to forward to the state. Those 6 items: commercial building structural and HVAC, fire suppression and fire alarm plan review, commercial building structure, HVAC, fire suppression, fire alarm inspection, commercial electrical permitting and inspection, commercial plumbing plan review, 1 and 2 family dwelling permitting and inspection. Correct?
Correct.
Yes.
All right. Any discussion on that motion?
I'm gonna, I was noticing that they have Nick Archibald as the certified inspector for the fire stuff. I don't know if that's right or if it's somebody else.
I think he's the one who's done it.
Is he?
I think so.
Okay.
I know he did some stuff out on, the development, the build business.
Oh, North Star?
North Star, yes.
Well, he'd be the authority at the fire chief anyway.
Yeah.
So
And yeah, he's talked to us about some of these buildings.
Any other discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, consider appointment of the 2024-25 election inspectors.
So the list that you
Some
have.
good news.
The list that you have, you see that there's a long list of continuing unaffiliated workers who have agreed to keep going at it. There's a few new unaffiliated, so those are just people that offered on their own. And then there are some party nominated ones. Actually, since I printed this list, Janet and Jim Oakley have informed me that they are going to continue to work for the village clerk where they have been working versus coming here like the Republican Party suggested.
Okay.
So those can be crossed off. So that leaves 2 party nominated.
A Democrat and a
Workers,
Republican.
1 Democratic and 1 Republican, and they are town residents.
Yep.
Oh, wonderful.
So you can see, some of them have been working here for quite a while. There is 1 person you'll see that was a town resident and has moved out of the town, but she still wants to help here, and she can if she's in Dane County, so she's still on the list. That's Dan Harris. The rest are all town residents.
I'm on the list, so I'll need to abstain, right?
Yeah, I mean, it won't hurt anything if you do. There's plenty of other people to vote.
I'll move approval of the current list of the 2024 through 2025 election inspectors
With
Chris. Do you want me to?
cross off
Oh, okay.
Janet,
With
Jim. Oakley.
Janet Oakley and Jim Oakley not being on this list.
Yeah,
There will
so
only
there,
be-
there are actually 3 party affiliated or nominated people, Janet Oakley, Jim Oakley, and Suzanne Pearson, who all declined when I asked them.
Pass it.
So it is
You
important.
want me just to list them separately then?
It is important, I think, to have a strong track record of why they were declined when they're party nominated like that.
Okay,
Yeah. So we.
so Janet Oakley, Jim Oakley, and Suzanne Pearson notified or that they did not want to
Yeah, they declined the nomination.
decline the nomination.
Motion by Duplay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Fonger to approve the 2024-25 election inspectors as presented with Janet Oakley, Jim Oakley, and Suzanne Pearson, who declined. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Abstain.
One abstention by Williams. Next item, consider appointment to fill Plan Commission vacancy and 1 applicant.
I move the approval of Tom Bannick.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Duplay to approve Tom Bannigan to finish filling Mike Klinger's appointment. Correct?
So does that mean that Tom will have to be reappointed this year or
He was up
He'll
this year,
be,
24,
he'll
correct?
be up in
May.
May of 24.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll just have to reappoint them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Discuss, consider the insurance coverage options. Prime property value.
So when I estimated this for the budget, insurance never gives you a hard number till about now.
Yeah.
And they estimated 5%. So I did that, and this is the bill is already over that. I had budgeted $29,409 and it's $31,752. So it is what it is, but. Then they're suggesting some additional things that you can think about. These are different items really either. Although the cyber liability ones are big.
You said you figured it had what was the budget?
29,000.
It's about 2,000 more than what I budgeted.
That's with workman's comp and everything, or
Yeah.
do we get a rebate from workman's comp every year? We do, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's it's used, obviously. But
right.
Can't live without it.
So you could, if you increase your base crime limit from 10 to 50,000, it would cost you another $145. You could increase your deductible, property deductible from 1,000 to 2,500. That would save you $471. And then looking at the signature page, those are just suggestions, but then for cyber liability, you should choose either the $100,000 limit, the $1 million limit, or decline that coverage. I think that's what you need to, those are the decisions to make.
What do we have now?
Cyber liability it would be new.
We have to have 100,000.
Cyber liability.
That would be
Well,
my recommendation, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
I don't think it's worth us increasing our deductible from 1,000 to 2,500.
No.
No.
One claim would.
That's years worth of savings.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a big jump they're proposing.
So we want to add the 145 crime section
Yeah,
and then not increase the deductible.
Right.
And then we want to go with the
100,000 cyber.
cyber,
Liability.
and that's the only 3 changes. Correct?
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would make that motion then.
second,
Motion by Fogger, second by Duplay to approve increasing the crime section base crime limit from 10,000 to 50,000, not to increase our deductible, to leave it at the 1,000, and to opt into the cyber liability option for $100,000 limit.
Correct.
Discussion on that motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Public Works, you're on.
Road right-of-way permits, we got one, Spectrum Communications. They're gonna be burying the line underneath Single Cow Road at 2880 Single Cow Road. Basically, it's just they're gonna hook up to fiber. The new house there.
Okay,
That's all I had for that.
I'll tell them the good news.
What's the good news?
What's coming in January?
Oh, snow? Oh, the new truck? So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. So I talked to Bell Ford where we order our new truck through. And we already got confirmation it's gonna hit assembly line on January 3rd.
Ooh, wow.
sweet.
What's up with that?
I don't know. So it went from 6 months to right away.
6 weeks.
Yeah. Sounds good to us. And then I let Burke Truck know that it'd be coming sooner than later, so they're gonna order that stuff too. So that truck will get probably, I would say, early summer, late spring.
Are they gonna be able, does Burke Truck that is, gonna be able to get it in before their original?
Yeah, they're doing trucks as they come in right now. They don't have that many sitting up there. If there's 11 trucks up there, that'd be exaggerating.
That's it.
Right now, Western Star is the only company right now that can actually produce trucks.
Quickly.
Yeah, and I don't know, so that list we got put on for international,
Yeah,
I don't know if that's gonna happen either. I talked to our sales guy the other day and he was saying he doesn't know a date yet of availability. So it might not be 25, so I might have to shop around anyway, which I might have to do early in the year, just in case.
so what's Western Star using for motors and,
Cummings,
are they?
yeah,
Okay,
they're using the Cummings, it's the same transmission, same
Yeah, yeah.
same rear ends, everything. I already talked to that guy a little bit and he said, yeah, 6-month availability on those. So at least we'll be able to get a truck if we want one in 25. Yeah, international is basically, they're saying maybe possibly 2 more years.
Really?
Can't wait that long.
That's what I told them.
Can we compliment Dan and his crew for the
Yeah.
framing of
Oh,
the
the old
town
map.
map that you found for us?
I
Chris?
see that. Yeah, that's a surprise. Yeah.
It looks really nice. I was looking at it today.
wait, vintage is that one?
You found it, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah, I got it from Joel Hammond.
Did you? Oh, what a gift.
Actual map or plat map or,
Plat map.
no, is it?
Says 1936, I believe, on it.
Really interesting. I was looking closely at it today.
I have an original 1894 county plat map. It's only just a small.
Wow.
Plat book, yeah. Probably out of a plat book.
Yeah, it's got it framed up on my wall of the house.
Oh,
I think there's one at the outpost for the Flynn development
Really?
where the bar is there.
Sweet.
nice.
The Bruce across the street had.
And I think
Nice.
he might be in for Baxter Road. I was gonna bring up Baxter Road, but he might be here.
I wanted to apologize to you first for the way I talked to you. over the
Oh, no
phone.
problem.
Just a lot going on at work and at home, and
Yep.
so I just want to apologize to you. Hi, everyone. My name's Alex Padilla. I live over at 4513 Baxter Road. I gave Dan, was it?
Yep.
I gave Dan a call last Friday. I had a tree trimmer come and do some work and basically failed his contract. He's not a legit tree trimmer. So it was at the point where he just had to haul out some very large trees that I was confused on whether they were or weren't mine. And I apologize to him and his guys because I was under the impression that they weren't mine. It turns out that they are. So again, sorry.
No problem.
I just don't know where to go now with the situation that I'm in because he did trespass on my neighbor's property and tore up theirs. He didn't finish the job. All he had to do was haul out the rest of the wood that he cut. And from my understanding, he's responsible for getting rid of it. And I called Dan to just let him know, like, there is a large tree in the right of way. And I have no way to physically move it myself. Or I mean, you could see that I tried cutting it up all weekend. Just because I didn't want anyone to get hurt, and people leave double days or they take that road, and I pick up beer bottles all the time or beer cans. So, you know, I don't want someone to lose a family member or whatever because the guy I hired that I should have looked more into didn't finish his job. So I guess I don't know where to go with it. I don't know if I should go to small claims.
The guy local or?
Is it a hazard?
We rolled the log today out of
Yep.
the right of way up onto his lawn,
Yep, and that's-
next to the stumps. But like our large loader, I don't think we'll lift it.
Really?
And so it's gonna have to be cut in chunks to take out of there.
So, yeah, I'm just kind of lost on what to do. I should have looked more into the guy. His name is Kyle Harris. He lives out in Deerfield. I capped him after the situation. All he had to do was literally haul it out. He had a skid steer and chainsaws and everything. So I paid him the rest because he just had to haul it out. He had a dump trailer and everything. He was getting rid of everything as he was going through with it. I wasn't very happy with him tearing up my neighbor's yards, which I've talked to Don and Leslie. They're just south of my house, and I'm gonna clean up their yard this spring before I even do anything with mine. But I guess where can I go with this? Is this like a small claims thing?
The guy said he wouldn't do it?
I tried calling him 100 times. I've tried texting him. I've sent him messages on Facebook because I looked him up on Facebook too. I'm like, hey, dude, like you gotta get this out of the road and finish the job. Like I already paid you in full.
That's weird.
Did you have the police file a police report that they're involved?
So I was home 2 Saturdays ago. The police showed up because Don had called saying that he drove through his driveway, through his property to get mine. Dan knows that you can pretty much get into my yard from anywhere on that intersection. Obviously, my driveway is on Liberty, so it's the safest thing to do. And then on top of that, they were there Monday because he did it again, this past Monday because he did it again, or sorry, last Monday. Today's Monday. Last Monday, he did the same thing. And I called Don and Leslie and I was like, if he does it, call him in. It's your property. I didn't give him permission. You guys didn't give him permission. And Don and Leslie and myself, we're on an okay basis right now. Like I said, I told I was going to fix her property, but yeah, it's been a headache and that stress on top of work and everything. So I just don't know what to do. I guess I'm not looking for legal advice. I just don't know. I've never been in this situation. I've never had a contractor, in a sense, not finish the job and get paid. And I don't know what to do, I guess.
Well, that was your first mistake paying them.
Yeah.
I holding some back.
Yeah.
Do you know who it is?
It's not the tree trimmer.
No.
It's not him.
No. And actually, I told him, on Friday, I saw a Go landscaping truck, which I know they do their business off of North Jargo Road. They picked up the skid steer that was parked in his yard. So I don't know if he was borrowing equipment from them or if he actually works for them.
Go landscape.
Yeah, Go, as in go, get going, go
Okay.
landscaping. And I know it was that truck because I slowed down to look to see what he was doing. And yeah, he had some wood in the back of the truck and then loaded up the skid steer with a grapple bucket on it.
Like I even went and borrowed a friend's trailer. I have a Toyota 4Runner. It's not like meant to tow, really, like maybe a small boat. And I went and borrowed my friend's trailer and I loaded it up with wood. I was like calling around. I'm like, no one will take it. And they're like, the guy who cut your tree is responsible for it. I'm like, he won't even answer me. So I'm just trying to do the right thing. And I didn't want anybody to get hurt because of the trees I had cut down. And
Have you tried just advertising free wood?
What kind of wood is it?
basswood and cottonwood and willow. Those trees were all dead.
The willow, I think that's the big chunk that's left, isn't it? The base of the willow.
He didn't even finish that. So he's like, I don't have a chainsaw big enough. I'm like, at this point, I just wanted him gone with all the trouble I was having. And
he's got quite a big mess too, like in the yard, his yard, our right of way, everything.
I mean, my yard's tore up. I don't think this guy even had treads on his tires. So I mean, that's my own problem that I have to deal with. The yard cleanup and all that stuff, but I don't know if I should pursue this with a lawyer. I mean, I CCAP'd him and this guy's got like just a list of things that are all going through there.
Oh, boy.
You know, driving without a license, unregistered vehicles over 10,000 pounds, evictions, like, and I probably shouldn't be saying this in a live meeting, but.
Facts are facts, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I should have looked into it more, and that's my own fault, and I get that. I just don't know.
Well, it's up on your land now, right? I mean, it's.
Yeah, I think it looks like they pushed it back on. I just
Yeah.
got done with work, like, when I pulled in. I've been in since. before this
Small
morning,
claims court is about the only thing you could do now,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, and as far as the right of way goes, as soon as it comes to spring, I mean, we'll fix up whatever needs to be fixed up. But
Does he need to have a police report first to go?
I think you did that already, right?
I have, there was two different officers or two different occasions that officers came, so I was planning on stopping there tomorrow and going to that Goal Landscaping and saying, hey, do any of you guys associate with this guy?
Yeah, I would.
And if
Maybe you
they
can solve the
deny
problem
it, then
right
I'm
there.
gonna say, well, you're lying.
In his driveway.
So, yeah, I don't wanna get in it. I mean, I could haul that wood there and dump it at his house, but I'm not gonna do that.
Did Eric say he was on after 11 tomorrow? Is that what he said? Or he's on tomorrow, right? Not Jen. I think Eric's on tomorrow. Are there cards out there on the counter?
Not sure.
what about it?
I think it's Eric's. Well, I was just telling him who to contact, Eric here in town. They can step out.
Just call dispatch and ask for whoever's on duty.
Yeah, but
That's the best way to always do it.
I probably got another 16-hour day tomorrow, so I probably really won't go till Wednesday if I don't. So I work for MG&E, so right now is like the busiest time of the year for us. So
Oh, boy.
all these highway projects being done in Dane County. Move this man, all high pressure, dangerous shit. Sorry, excuse my French. Dangerous stuff. So, you know, things can go wrong very quickly and it takes time to do things right. So on top of the traffic and people on their phones and texting and driving.
By the
We're all
way,
the
did you
highest in the
sign in
world.
the sheet? The sign, did you
Oh,
sign?
no, I can do that. This is my first time.
Okay, it's helpful for our clerk to have.
just brainstorming in my head too. Straight across Baxter from you, there's that guy with a gravel driveway.
Yep.
I think he still owns that. He burns a lot of wood.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I just didn't want to give someone my burden, so.
Yeah, well, he might just come over and work on it,
Yeah.
cut it up and split it up.
Great idea.
Okay,
I know he used to.
I'll stop by and talk to him.
Can't think of his name.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah, I just figured I'd come here and see if this situation's ever happened before. You know, so,
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
No,
No.
so from now on I will.
sadly.
Lesson learned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good luck.
thanks.
Move to the clerk treasurer.
We had round 1, 3 interviews this morning, really strong candidates. So got 3 more we're going to interview tomorrow. We had a lot more, lot more applicants, but these were the ones that we felt we would interview to start with. I think we're going to find somebody. This
Any
one-
town res?
One town resident. Yeah,
Really strong candidates.
yeah,
Yeah,
not different than a year ago.
it was.
All local though, pretty much.
The ones that we are interviewing are Madison, McFarland, and Cottage Grove. We had applicants from, I think there was one from Barneveld, Evansville. I didn't.
Partyville.
Partyville. I didn't really pursue those real hard because I don't know why anybody would want to come that far.
Especially for,
easy to get here from Partyville.
well, especially for
No,
13
exactly.
hours a week.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, there's strong local candidates and I think we should start with that. So that's what we're doing. Other than that, it's just tax time, getting busy.
Yeah.
All right, board reports, and communications. Remember, our next meeting is January 2nd, the Tuesday, and the local negotiating landfill committee, they're proposed a public hearing for March 6th is what we're looking at. That would be at the Alliance Center. And we're waiting for Village of McFarland to come and join. That's all that I had. Committee reports. Mike, emergency government.
We did have a tabletop exercise and it went really good. And
Lots of questions.
yeah, we went through a lot of different things and we're gonna go through Jay from Dane County's putting together a little report and then we'll go through that at our next meeting and look at things we can improve on.
Okay,
Move we adjourn.
Second.
motion by Duplace, second by Williams. It's non-debatable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Mhm.
See you next.